All right, so this is Victoria Atman here at Vitosh National Historical Site. I am joined with Laurier Gareau, and we are here presenting his play, The Betrayal, which is historically significant to this area. Laurier, can you tell us a little bit about your play?
Well, the betrayal is a meeting that would have supposedly taken place 20 years after the Battle of Batoche. So it's 1905. Gabriel Dumont hasn't set foot in a church in 20 years because he believes the clergy betrayed his military secrets to Middleton during the battle. And but he keeps coming to visit his old friend, Father Moulin, hoping that the old priest will finally admit the betrayal. At the same time, he knows he's about to die and wants to be buried in the Catholic cemetery. Now, at the time, if you hadn't gone to church, especially during the Easter season, you couldn't be buried in a Catholic cemetery. And so this is part of the discussion that goes on between the two. It's also an evaluation of the conflict that took place in the 1880s here in Saskatchewan between two civilizations. It's the Métis civilization that was in place here for about 100 years before the arrival of the white settlement in the late 1880s. And the white men who are coming in and taking over the land and so forth. And it's this battle that still haunts Dumont because he has seen his way of life, his culture, slowly disappearing. And this is one of the things that he has trouble forgiving the old priests because for him, they betrayed, by betraying his military secrets, they betrayed the Métis way of life. So this is basically what the story is about.
Excellent. That sounds very interesting. Can you tell us why you feel this story is important to be sharing with people?
Well, I grew up in Bellevue, just east here of Batoche, and when I was growing up in the 50s and 60s in Bellevue, my father would often hire some Métis men from Batoche to work on the farm for us during the summer. And so I got to know these men very well. And I was always fascinated, first of all, by their Métis dialect in French, which doesn't translate to English, but in the French version of the play, it really works quite well. It adds character to the character of Dumont. But I loved the language, and I also loved listening to the stories they would tell me as we were picking rocks or picking bales during the summer. And so later on, I became interested in Saskatchewan history, Francophone history, and the Métis history was also very high on my list of interests. And then I worked here at Batoche for 3 summers from 84 to 86. And that's when a lot of the development of this play took place, especially in 84, as they were basically working on the Batoche historical site at that time, building this interp center, renovating the church and rectory. And I was fascinated by the history, and often standing beside Gabriel Dumont's tomb in the cemetery, I kept getting these ideas of, and it was a play I'd already written before as a radio drama a couple of years before, and then I decided to adapt it for the stage. And at that time, I was studying theater at the University of Alberta. I needed an English project, and this became the project. And the play was originally done in English here at Batoche in 85, but an earlier version. They didn't want the last version of the play because they thought I was pushing the church a bit too far in that last version. So one of my writing instructors had decided to do the very same play at the Fringe in Edmonton that summer of '85, which was the 100th anniversary of the Resistance. And the play was well received in Edmonton. It was later published in Five from the Fringe by New West Press in '86. And then later on I did a French adaptation where I added the Métis dialect and I reworked the play a bit. And the French version was originally published in 1998 by Les Éditions de la Nouvelle Plume. It quickly ran out, and so it went into a second printing in 1994. And we're running out now, and the play is still having quite a good life, especially in the schools now in Saskatchewan. A lot of the schools are starting to pick up the play, especially since in the published version from La Nouvelle Plume, it's in both French and English. Both versions are in the same book. So it's getting a new life, so we'll probably be going to a third edition in the next couple of months.
That's very exciting. It's definitely a unique work. You mentioned that it is published in this current edition bilingually. So could you give us an example of how the dialogue might change from French to English? So give us the French line and translate it into English and kind of try to bring out some of that nuance.
Well, sure. You and your paradise. We had that paradise here at Batoche. And in French it would be toi pis ton paradis. Nous l'avions le paradis ici à Batoche par la petite ville. So the Métis dialect in French really adds a lot of character to the play in the pronunciation of some words that is not really French, but it's a special dialect in itself, but still written in a way that the French audiences will understand it today.
Absolutely, yeah. Even the way you form your words in the Métis dialect is unique. You can definitely see that translating in your performance.
The way certain sentences are structured also adds to the character because it's not the way we normally speak in French. While in English you can try to affect a sort of a dialect, but it's really not the Métis dialect. So I don't really try in this production to do that.
Well, I am looking forward to seeing it tonight, and I'm sure many others are as well. So thank you so much for your time, and we will let you go get ready and set up for your performance. Thank you.
Thank you.